So this obedience or disobedience, time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, now live in a world where you can have just 10 young men and women in one room, whether motivated or not motivated, and they can churn out 1 million stories using different names. You need to track them to find that this whole thing is being done in one room. Time will tell.
So the negotiations from the Southeast were not successful this time. Your erstwhile running mate, Peter Obi, left the PDP and joined another party, is also running for president. How do you think this will affect your prospects, given that the Southeast has always been such a safe zone for the PDP?
I really don't expect, the Labour Party to, to take as much votes from the PDP as people are suggesting. We could have seen it in the last elections in Osun State. What is the performance of the Labour Party? This is a party that doesn't have a governor, doesn't have members of the National Assembly, doesn't have state assembly members, and politics in this country depends on the structures you have at these various levels, at the local government level, at the state level, and at the national level. So it is very, very difficult to expect a miracle to happen, simply because Peter Obi is in the Labour Party.
Well, two quick follow-up questions. The first one is...
After all, they were saying through the social media they had more than 1 million votes in Osun State. But how many votes turned out to vote for Labour Party? And then again, mark you, you are talking about social media. In the North, 90% of our people are not tuned to social media.
How can Peter Obi win any election? Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's why the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you're doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. Kano is 4 million votes that actually happen. Anambra is what? The number of votes in Anambra is the size of one local government in Kaduna State. So all states are not equal. If you poll states and you make them equal, yes, Peter Obi will sweep the southeastern states. He will do well in South-South. Where else? He's not polling well in Southwest, other than a drop in the ocean in Lagos. He's polling in the Christian enclaves in the North. He's polling well. But how many are they? How many? Peter Obi cannot win the election. He doesn't have the number of states. He doesn't have 25% in more than, the last time we checked, in more than 16 states. He can't go anywhere. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor, and that's all he will be. This election is between the APC and the PDP because they have the footprint, they have the spread. Ethnicity and religious bigotry will not take you anywhere. And that's what the Labour Party campaign is about.
So this election is ours to lose because I don't see any other person in the horizon. People who say they are obedient, of course, let them be, but they will run out of steam. We know how to manage elections. How many people have been able to do what we are doing? They can't even form their campaign council, not to talk about having timetable for elections.
I mean, I would say if Nigeria, if Peter Obi is one of our best, can Nigeria pull off what was pulled off, maybe what Trump pulled off by getting these new votes that nobody even knew existed?
Is it possible?
That would be a delusion of grandeur.
Oh, wow.
I was in Labour. I started my journey from Labour. Nigerian politicians are everywhere. They have proliferated everywhere. They have infiltrated everywhere. The first thing Obi will face in Labour, he will have to fund the party. The party does not have money. Wow. And Nigerians don't make contributions. After I lost the first 10 million, I started shaking when I was in Labour. 10 million. They said they were setting up structures. But he has to now set up structures. They don't have structures.
Hi.
I decided to show us these compilation of these speeches by these people who kept saying that Obi cannot go anywhere in 2023. So you could see the compilation. The videos are much, but these are just the ones I was able to get for now. So, there were plenty of them. There was nothing they didn't say. They said we were just 10 people in one room. They said our team is going to, go down. They said there's no way we are even going to win 5 states. They said we are going nowhere. They said Obi is a Nollywood actor. Many, many things. Remember, Soludo even wrote a letter. I think Soludo's letter was even saying that Obi may only manage to win Anambra or something of that nature. So all kinds of, things, discouraging statements, discouraging messages, discouraging ideas that were coming from every angle. Even Soludo went on air to say that Peter Obi's investment was close to nothing, all kind of things. So we heard from every angle. You know, what is it that we didn't hear? Is it the issue of structure? We can't go anywhere. We are just playing. We will fizzle away. So we heard all of that. And guess what? We surprised all of them. That is the truth. And they had to resort to cheating and corruption. They had to resort to rigging to be able to stop us. They had to switch off the IRF to be able to stop us. So this is what they did just about 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I just want to bring to your notice that they never believed in you. They never thought you were anything. They never thought you could do anything. And guess what? We won the election. It was clear. They had to resort to violence. They had to resort to switching off of the IRF. They had to resort to all manner of things. What happened in Rivers State is still there. We still remember what happened in Rivers State. What happened in Lagos State, we still remember. In Plateau, our votes, were much more. And you saw how they reduced the whole thing. In fact, even from the Obidients campaign chairman, the campaign chairman, Akin Oshutokun, I learned from him in one of his interviews that we even won Borno State. So you can imagine all of that. But these are the same people who were saying you were nothing. After the election, they were coming out and saying they were surprised. They didn't know we could get to that extent. It's the same people. Why am I saying this? Why am I reminding you? First, I needed to remind you where we are coming from. I needed to remind you that they wrote us off. I needed to remind you that they said we were nothing. In fact, they were not even mentioning us at the beginning. The media was not even remembering us. They were focusing on PDP and APC until we came from nowhere. Now, I needed to remind you where we are coming from. And we came and we actually won. Now we are coming again 2027. Now this time around, let me be honest with you, it will even be much more. In fact, they have started. So for you to just understand, these same people that upon everything they did to you, you came out victorious. Do you think that they won't do much more in 2027, which they have even started? So don't be discouraged. That is my message. Now, yes, the system is corrupt. We know that. Yes, I love what our friends are doing. Some of us who are going for electoral reforms, very good. Very, very excellent. We need every reform that we will get. But after the reform, with or without reform, one of the major things we must do is that we must be ready for them. We learned our lessons last time. But this time around, we will never allow them to get away with our victory. Yes, they cannot snatch, grab, and run away. No, they will not. So it is what we need to focus on. How do we ensure that they don't run away with our victory? How do we ensure that nothing happens to our votes? These strategies should be what we'll be looking at. This is not time to be discouraged. This is not time to, throw our hands in the air and say it's over. No, it is difficult. In fact, it is even more difficult than 2023. Yes, because the people we are dealing with, they don't play by the rules. They don't play by the rules. Don't think I'm saying that INEC is going to do the right thing, police is going to do the right thing, and even everybody is going to do the right thing. No. Don't think I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is that they can be forced to do the right thing. We stand our ground. We plan better. We do what we ought to do. We relaxed last time. We felt INEC was going to do the right thing because of the Ekiti and Osun election. So we felt they were going to do as they did in those states. And we were naive. Yes, I must accept we were very naive. We felt that we were dealing with people who play by the rules. But this time around, let us not be discouraged. That is just my message. Don't be discouraged. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. But however, it is also possible. Let's look up to our leaders. Let's follow. Let's see where the direction that our leaders are taking. Let's see where Peter Obi is going to. Let's pray for him. Let's keep our fingers crossed. On the issue of coalition or no coalition, please don't listen to anybody except Peter Obi or the leaders of Obidient movement. It's either Peter Obi speaks or Tanko Yunusa speaks. If it is not coming from any of these leaders of Obidient movement or Peter Obi himself, regard it as rumor. So let's be focused, and let's keep our eyes on our leaders and see the direction they will be taking us to. They will have a better plan. They have promised us that 2027 will be different. They are planning differently, and we are approaching it very differently. And I believe that victory will come our way. Of course, I believe so. And a new Nigeria will come. Thank you for your time. And please, if you found any value in this video, kindly subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Remember, a new Nigeria is possible.